For years, easy mortgage money fueled new home construction and helped send home prices through the roof. Many borrowers with poor credit were able to buy homes because lenders were eager to do business in the subprime loan market. But many homeowners got in over their heads, and so did mortgage companies, which in turn are taking a big hit.
I'm sorry we can't close your loan. Your lender just went out of business. That happened with 2 lenders today.
A senator and presidential candidate Hillary Clinton is talking about a huge bailout for homeowners, saying many were victims of overzealous lenders, and telling the Associated Press that many people have gotten into the mortgage market who are being exploited and abused by boiler room mortgage lending operations. But some see the downturn in the mortgage market as a natural correction.
I think it is important that we do things to prevent the disruptions that are going on in the mortgage market now from spreading to the economy as a whole. But at the same time, I am not in favor of a bailout.
Without a bailout, the resulting fall in housing prices could help bring homes within reach of first-time buyers. But either way, easy mortgage money is now a thing of the past. In light of all these mortgage concerns, the Fed is expected to keep an even keel today, leaving interest rates unchanged. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
All right, so that brings up a lot of interesting questions here. If there are a lot of distressed properties on the market, should you be in the market to buy a home right now and look at those properties first, or are there some risks involved with that strategy? Let's get the word from an expert here. Dina Moskowitz is with Pineapple Hut, which is an interesting name for a real estate company. The pineapple symbolizing hospitality?
That's exactly right. Hospitality, welcoming, and a warm experience.
Okay, so that's what you're aiming for here, but you've moved into this area of distressed properties because that's a kind of a growing market, unfortunately, in San Diego. That's not the real hospitable area, is it? That's where everybody's a little on edge at this moment.
Well, and that's exactly where people do need that extra hand-holding and the assurance that we can help them to negotiate a better price, get out of tough situations, and have a better experience.
So you're not just working with home buyers, you're working with home sellers, folks that are very motivated to sell at this point. Now, how did a lot of these folks who are in foreclosure now, how did they get in trouble in the first place?
Well, as Zeta just said, the markets were providing a lot of lax, easy credit terms over the past few years. And so as a result, a lot of people who would not have qualified to be home buyers were borrowing money, buying homes with even as much as 100% down. And now they haven't experienced any appreciation in their equity.
So that's what they were counting on, is the market would continue to climb and they'd get this appreciation, and the equity would be built in for them, and they would kind of catch up over time. They'd be in a risky group in the beginning, but then over time they would kind of grow into the loan, but they got in too late.
That's right, and they didn't anticipate that interest rates would rise as much, and when their adjustable rate mortgages were resetting, their payments were going up substantially.
So as you look around San Diego right now, we know we have a record number of foreclosures right now, but is the situation really as bad for the market as that would indicate?
Well, according to the research from DataQuick, they've showed that there really isn't a substantial correlation between the foreclosure market impacting home prices right now. So what we may be seeing is that there are more sellers that are motivated to sell because banks don't want to hold on to the properties.
Okay, so the banks don't want these properties back, and we're really not seeing that foreclosed properties are selling for a lot less than comparable homes. So again, what's the motivation for me, maybe as a buyer, to even look at a foreclosure? Because distressed property, I start getting nervous about that immediately, thinking, okay, are there going to be some problems here with the deal?
Right. And for a buyer right now, they should really be looking at the property first and whether or not that property is in the right location, if it's something that they believe is going to be a good investment for them overall.
So you still have to look at it as a property that, I mean, I'm thinking you would recommend something you want to live in.
Absolutely.
At this point, not necessarily as an investment property.
Right. And if the price seems upfront to be too good to be true, there may be a reason, and it is too good to be true.
What are you finding then in terms of the sellers and you're working with them? How do you help them through this process? Because folks have laid everything on the line here, and they're about to lose everything.
Right. And what we do is, if there's a seller out there who believes that they're approaching a distressed situation, We hope that they're going to give us a call or give a realtor a call who's professional and will be able to help them understand what all of their options are before they take any action. We'll look at their mortgage, we'll see if they have any refinancing options, we'll look at the value of their home, and then we'll help them to figure out the strategies that can either preserve their equity or in the least prevent them from losing too much.
Now, and I'm also finding that real estate agents, as the market toughens up as it is right now, are a little more willing to maybe split fees with people, to give them reduced rates, or maybe even sell services on an a la carte plan rather than just dumping everything into one bin and saying, that's what it's going to cost you.
That's exactly right, and in fact that was the foundation on which Pineapple Hut was built. We offer a choice-driven real estate model so that buyers and so that sellers today and buyers can pick and choose the services they need and just pay for those. But if they want full service representation, we have all the tools and the professional experience to do the full service on their behalf.
Give me an example of maybe some tools that a particular buyer might not need to take advantage of and they can save some money on.
Well, for example, if they just want to post their home on the MLS and then do all the other work themselves, we'll charge them a flat fee to do that. If then they decide, you know, they could really use help with contract negotiations or paperwork assistance, we can charge them a la carte based on that. So maybe they want to do the open houses themselves. Maybe they are willing to post the property on our sites themselves and do more marketing themselves. We don't make them pay for those services, and it gives them a chance to preserve their equity.
So the more work that they're willing to actually do themselves, the more money that they can actually save.
That's exactly right.
And again, I want to go back and emphasize something that you touched on. But if you feel like you're getting into a distressed situation, when is it the time to actually go to a real estate agent and start asking for help?
Well, the earlier the better right now. Because the credit markets are tightening up, you should do everything you can to understand what your mortgage is, what your options are in advance of taking any action.
Is this at the time that you are missing a payment or before you miss that first payment? Or I'm trying to figure out if there's that magic time when you say, oh, now I can't wait any longer.
Well, ideally, it's before you miss a payment, and even more ideally, it's before your mortgage is about to adjust. Sometimes people aren't aware of which month it is that their mortgage is going to go from a fixed rate to an adjustable rate, and the price differential could just come as a major shock, and that could put you into a stressful condition where you might make decisions based on the wrong state of mind.
Okay, Dina Moskowitz from Pineapple Hut. Good to see you. We've got a link at our website at fox6.com. And again, we urge folks, get some advice, get some help before they get into trouble.
Right. Okay. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming in. All right, let's get over to Terry Burhans at 7:36, find out what's going on with weather and traffic.